Imagine a life where nothing can break you, where every setback only sharpens your focus, where your mind stands firm like steel and your heart blazes like an unquenchable fire. Too many people live with weak minds and cold hearts, distracted, discouraged, defeated. But that's not your path. Today, you're about to awaken a force inside you that even the world can't contain. This is your moment to unlock the mind of steel and the heart of fire. Better. Unshakable belief. Unshakable belief is the foundation upon which every extraordinary life is built. It's not a fleeting thought, not a wish, not a casual hope. It's a deep-rooted certainty within your soul that no matter what happens, you will find a way. It's the voice inside you that whispers, keep going, even when everything outside of you screams, give up. It's what separates those who dream from those who do. When you have an unshakable belief, failure doesn't define you, it refines you. Every setback becomes feedback. Every rejection becomes redirection. You no longer live at the mercy of circumstances or the opinions of others. You become the architect of your own reality because you know that your destiny is shaped by your decisions, not by your conditions. This kind of belief is not given, it's earned. It's forged through experience, through choosing to rise after every fall, through betting on yourself even when the odds seem impossible. It's built brick by brick every time you act with courage instead of fear, every time you show up when you feel like hiding, every time you speak truth when it would be easier to stay silent. Unshakable belief demands that you trust yourself when no one else will. It demands that you back your vision when there is no visible evidence that it will work. It demands that you are willing to endure ridicule, loneliness, and misunderstanding in the pursuit of something greater. It means looking at reality not through the lens of limitation, but through the lens of possibility. It's easy to believe when everything is going your way, when the money is flowing, when the applause is loud, when the doors are swinging open. But that's not when true belief is tested. True belief is tested when you're broke, when you're exhausted, when you're laughed at, when you're walking into a battle that feels like it has no end. It's tested in the silence, in the darkness, in the moments no one sees. Unshakable belief isn't passive, it's active. It's a decision you make every day, sometimes every hour, to stand firm when everything inside you and around you tempts you to doubt. It's the mental fortress you build through discipline, focus, and relentless commitment to the outcome you desire. And make no mistake, it's not about blind positivity. It's about knowing the challenges will come, pain will come, fear will come, and choosing again and again to believe that you are bigger than all of it. It's about anchoring yourself to a vision so compelling, so alive, that nothing external can tear it away from you. This is the core of unshakable belief, a force so powerful that it bends reality, that it creates breakthroughs where others see barriers, that it turns dreams into inevitabilities. Step 2, emotional fuel. Emotional fuel is the invisible fire that drives every great achievement, every act of courage, every breakthrough moment. It's the raw energy that surges through you when your mind tries to quit, but your heart says not yet. It's the passion that gets you up before the sun and keeps you grinding long after others have gone home. It's the emotional engine that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes, turning discipline into devotion and effort into excellence. Unlike willpower, which can burn out when tested too long, emotional fuel renews itself. It's drawn from the deepest parts of your desires, your dreams, your values, your mission. It's what connects your work to your why. When you tap into it, you don't need to constantly push yourself. You are pulled forward by something bigger, something unstoppable inside you. You don't have to manufacture motivation because it's already living within you, roaring like a fire waiting to be unleashed. Every human being has access to emotional fuel, but most barely scratch the surface because they have disconnected from what truly moves them. They bury their dreams under layers of doubt, fear, and practicality. They trade their fire for comfort. But those who are unstoppable know the secret. Emotion is energy, and if you learn how to channel it, you become a force that nothing can slow down. Think about the moments in your life when you felt truly alive, moments when you were unstoppable, when you surprised yourself with how much you endured, how much you achieved. Those moments were not powered by logic or reason alone. They were fueled by emotion. Love, pride, anger, hunger, passion, purpose. Emotion ignites your physiology, sharpens your mind, unlocks your creativity, and strengthens your resilience. It makes you faster, stronger, more courageous than you ever thought possible. Emotional fuel is not just about feeling good, it's about feeling something so deeply that it becomes a driving necessity. It's the parent who works 3 jobs to give their children a better future, the athlete who trains through pain because they see gold, the entrepreneur who faces 1,000 rejections and keeps building because their vision is not negotiable. It's rooted in emotional connection so strong that failure is simply not an option. Tapping into emotional fuel requires emotional honesty. You have to get real about what lights you up, what enrages you, what breaks your heart, what fills you with awe. You have to dare to care deeply in a world that often tells you to stay detached. You have to be willing to feel everything, the highs, the lows, the fear, the exhilaration. Because in that full range of emotion lies your limitless power. When emotional fuel is activated, obstacles become games to be played, not walls to be feared. Criticism becomes noise, not truth. Delays become training, not defeat. You no longer measure your progress only by what you see in the outside world, because inside the fire is already burning. And that fire becomes the compass that guides you through every challenge, every dark night, every moment of uncertainty. Emotional fuel is self-generated, but it must be nurtured. It's a daily practice of connecting to your vision, to your reasons, to the people and causes you love. It's a decision to live with your heart open and your soul engaged, to refuse to live a lukewarm life. It's about turning your emotions into a resource, not a weakness, and letting them power every action you take with unstoppable momentum. Step 3, resilience over reaction. Resilience over reaction is the discipline of choosing strength over impulse when life throws its inevitable challenges at you. It's the mastery of your inner world where you no longer allow external events to dictate your internal state. It's the refusal to be a puppet controlled by the hands of circumstance, emotion, or other people's opinions. It's the calm in the storm, the steel in the earthquake, the focus in the chaos. It's understanding that the first feeling you have when something difficult happens is just a spark, but what you do next, how you choose to respond, is what shapes your destiny. Most people live in reaction. They get an email they don't like and they lash out. They hear a piece of bad news and they collapse into fear. Someone criticizes them and they instantly doubt themselves. Their emotional state is a pinball bouncing wildly depending on what the world throws at them that day. Reaction is automatic, mindless, unconscious. It's survival mode. It's handing the steering wheel of your life over to every external trigger. Resilience, on the other hand, is conscious. It's choosing to pause, to breathe, to assess, and then to act with clarity, not emotional chaos. Resilience is built in the moments where you feel anger rising, but you don't let it control you. It's built when fear knocks on the door, but you don't let it dictate your decisions. It's built when disappointment crushes your expectations, and instead of spiraling, you refocus. You recommit, you rise stronger. It doesn't mean you don't feel emotions. It doesn't mean you suppress what's real. It means you acknowledge your emotions without becoming enslaved by them. It means you see the wave coming, but instead of getting smashed by it, you ride it. You use its energy to move forward. Emotional mastery is not about numbing yourself. It's about channeling your feelings into power, not paralysis. Resilience is a daily practice, a habit forged through small acts of emotional discipline. It's built every time you choose patience over panic, understanding over judgment, determination over defeat. It's built when you slow down long enough to ask yourself, what is the best response here? What future do I want to create by the way I handle this moment? Instead of letting life push you around, you start pushing back with intentional, powerful choice. In the moments that break most people, resilience gives you the ability to bend without breaking. It gives you the elasticity to take the hit, absorb it, and bounce back even stronger. It transforms adversity into training, not trauma. It turns life's punches into your own sharpening tools. Every time you refuse to react emotionally and instead respond intelligently, you're strengthening your internal armor. You're forging a character that not only survives storms, but learns how to dance in the rain. Resilience over reaction creates emotional freedom. You stop being a slave to every slight, every delay, every piece of bad news. You move through life with a grounded certainty that no matter what comes, you will find a way through it. You no longer live in fear of the unexpected because you have conditioned yourself to expect that you will respond with power, not panic. You become trustworthy to yourself, knowing that you are the kind of person who will not betray your greater vision just because a moment gets tough. Step 4, purpose-driven action. Purpose-driven action is the force that separates mere activity from true progress. It's the reason behind the effort, the meaning behind the motion, the fuel behind the fire, that sustains you long after motivation fades. It's about anchoring every step, every decision, every sacrifice to something bigger than yourself, a mission, a vision, a cause that electrifies your spirit and demands the best version of you to emerge. In a world where so many people are busy being busy, spinning in circles without moving forward, purpose-driven action is what cuts through the noise. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. It's about choosing impact over activity, depth over speed, significance over convenience. Purpose-driven action requires you to know your why so deeply that it pulls you forward even on the days when everything feels heavy, when fear whispers doubts in your ear, when the world seems indifferent to your dreams. When you're driven by purpose, work becomes worship. Challenges become necessary steps, not barriers. Every failure becomes a stepping stone, every delay a lesson, every sacrifice an investment. Purpose-driven action shifts your relationship with pain, turning what most people avoid into the very training ground that sharpens your edge and strengthens your resolve. You start moving with a power that doesn't come from the outside. It's internally generated, sustained by the clarity that you are not just working for a paycheck, a title, or fleeting applause, but for a legacy that will outlive you. Purpose-driven action demands discipline because you are no longer acting based on feelings alone. You understand that feelings are fleeting, but purpose is permanent. You show up when you're tired. You push through when you're scared. You keep building even when the rewards are nowhere in sight. You measure your life not just by achievements, but by alignment, the daily congruence between what you do and why you do it. This alignment creates a power inside you that is immune to external approval or criticism. Purpose-driven action gives your life coherence, stitching together your days into a story worth telling. It eliminates the emptiness that so many people feel after chasing goals that society told them were important but left them hollow inside. It forces you to define success on your own terms, not by the shallow metrics of money or fame alone, but by impact, contribution, fulfillment, and growth. It makes every step, even the small ones, significant because they are pieces of a larger masterpiece you are consciously creating. Taking action from purpose also expands your courage. When your actions serve something greater than your personal comfort, fear shrinks. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what happens if I don't try? You realize that staying small is no longer an option. when people are counting on you, when a vision is burning inside you that refuses to be silenced. This perspective transforms procrastination into urgency, indecision into clarity, and hesitation into bold movement. Purpose-driven action builds momentum that compounds over time. Every purposeful step you take not only moves you closer to your goal, but also strengthens your identity as someone who follows through, who lives intentionally, who honors their calling. You stop needing external motivators because the fire within you is self-sustaining. You trust the process, even when the path is unclear, because you trust the purpose guiding you. It demands brutal honesty with yourself. It asks you to strip away the distractions, the people-pleasing, the busy work, and get clear on what truly matters. It demands that you say no to what is merely good so you can say yes to what is great. It requires you to operate not from a place of proving yourself to others, but from a place of expressing yourself fully, unapologetically, and authentically. In doing so, you tap into a reservoir of strength, creativity, and resilience that far exceeds anything you could access by operating from fear, ego, or obligation. Step 5, master your inner world. Mastering your inner world is the ultimate game changer, because everything you experience, every success you build, every relationship you nurture, every goal you achieve begins first within the space between your ears and behind your ribs. It's the understanding that the real battlefield is not out there, not in the economy, not in politics, not even in other people's opinions, but inside your own mind and heart. And mastering your inner world means taking radical responsibility for your thoughts, your emotions, your focus, and your energy. It's realizing that while you can't always control what happens to you, you always control how you interpret it, how you respond to it, and how you use it. Most people are prisoners of their inner world without even realizing that they are tossed around by doubt, fear, anger, insecurity, craving approval, fearing rejection, needing validation. Their inner dialogue is full of limitations, criticisms, and outdated beliefs that sabotage their best intentions before they ever take action. They live reactive lives, responding unconsciously to the programs they've inherited, rather than consciously choosing who they want to be. But mastery begins the moment you stop living on autopilot and start deliberately shaping the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the meanings you assign to your experiences. Mastering your inner world starts with awareness. You must first become the observer of your mind, not the slave to it. You notice the patterns. You catch the negative spirals. You shine a light on the fears, the excuses, the lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. You develop the ability to step back from the noise inside your head and ask, is this thought serving me? Is this belief empowering me? Is this emotion helping me move forward or pulling me back? Mastery is born in the questions you ask yourself daily and the standards you hold for what you allow to take root inside your mind. It's about building mental discipline. You don't just let any thought take over. You direct your focus deliberately toward what you want, not what you fear. You feed your mind with vision, possibility, gratitude, and solution-oriented thinking. You train yourself to focus on what you can control rather than being obsessed with what you can't. You learn to generate empowering emotional states, courage, determination, love, creativity, rather than waiting for circumstances to dictate how you feel. Your emotions become tools you use, not traps you fall into. Mastering your inner world also means cleaning house emotionally. You stop carrying old resentments, shame, guilt, or blame like heavy baggage through your life. You forgive not because others deserve it, but because you deserve your freedom. You process your pain so it doesn't harden into bitterness or fear. You choose to see your past not as a chain, but as a training ground that prepared you for greater battles ahead. Emotional mastery allows you to keep your heart open even after it's been wounded, to trust life again even after you've been disappointed, to love fully even after you've been hurt. It requires you to build emotional resilience, the ability to feel pain without being defined by it, to feel fear without being paralyzed by it, to feel sadness without being swallowed by it, Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you don't feel them. It means you choose your relationship to them. You experience them fully, but you respond consciously rather than reacting blindly. You train yourself to move through emotional storms without losing your center. You develop the emotional muscles to stay connected to your purpose, your values, and your highest self, even in the hardest moments. And mastering your inner world is a daily practice, not a one-time decision. It's built moment by moment. In the morning when you decide to prime your mind for gratitude instead of stress. During the day when you choose to respond with patience instead of anger. At night when you review your wins instead of obsessing over your failures. Every thought you allow, every story you tell yourself, every emotion you cultivate, every focus you hold, these small invisible choices create your visible reality over time, right? It's about creating an inner environment so powerful, so resilient, so focused that the external world no longer dictates who you are or what you're capable of. It's realizing that your mind is not just a place where random thoughts happen. It is the command center of your life. Your emotions are not random accidents. They are signals you can learn to interpret and guide. Your energy is not a finite resource being drained by the world. It's a force you can renew, expand, and channel toward your dreams. When you master your inner world, you become a creator, not a reactor. You move through life from a place of power, not passivity. You write your own story instead of living trapped inside someone else's. You become the person who shapes reality rather than being shaped by it. Step 6, courage to stand alone. The courage to stand alone is one of the rarest and most powerful forms of strength a human being can develop. It's the willingness to walk a path even when no one else sees the vision. Even when the people around you doubt you, criticize you, or outright abandon you. It's the inner fortitude to hold your ground when the pressure to conform is suffocating. When the temptation to fit in screams louder than the call of your own soul. It's standing tall when it would be so much easier to shrink. Staying true when betrayal would be more convenient. And keeping your eyes fixed on the summit even when the trail disappears into fog and fear. Most people crave belonging so deeply that they will betray their own dreams just to be accepted by the crowd. They will silence their own voice to avoid the discomfort of rejection. They will trade authenticity for approval, conviction for convenience, passion for popularity. But those who build legacies, those who change industries, those who ignite revolutions within themselves and in the world, they are the ones who find the courage to be alone if that's what it takes. Standing alone does not mean being against others. It means being fiercely for yourself, your truth, your vision. It's about recognizing that leadership, innovation, greatness, these are lonely roads by nature because they require you to leave the safety of the known and venture into the uncharted. It's understanding that pioneers eat alone, leaders think alone, creators dream alone before the world ever validates them. If you're unwilling to endure seasons of solitude, you're unfit to carry the weight of a destiny that demands you to rise above the average. The courage to stand alone also demands a deep trust in your own instincts, in your own wisdom. It requires you to be able to look inside yourself and find your own validation rather than seeking it externally. It means building such an unbreakable relationship with yourself that you don't collapse at the first sign of disagreement, that you don't fold when others criticize what they are too afraid to attempt themselves. You have to know who you are so deeply that the noise of the world cannot drown out the voice of your own soul. There is a certain nobility in being willing to be misunderstood, to be laughed at, to be doubted. Every great movement, every extraordinary invention, every world-changing idea started first in the mind of someone who was willing to look foolish to those who couldn't yet see. You must be willing to be seen as wrong before you are proven right. Willing to be seen as different before you are celebrated as visionary. The road courage is filled with moments where the applause goes silent. The support vanishes. The only thing left is the fire inside you. And you learn that it is enough. Standing alone sharpens you, it clarifies your values, it reveals your real motivations. It strips away the need for external rewards and forces you to act from a place of internal power. It's easy to claim courage when you're surrounded by a cheering crowd. It's much harder when you're walking through darkness with nothing but the echo of your own footsteps. But it's in these moments that character is forged, in these moments that you build the unshakable inner infrastructure necessary to hold the weight of the greatness you seek. The courage to stand alone also teaches you emotional independence. You stop needing constant encouragement, praise, or validation to keep moving forward. You learn to draw strength from within, to create your own momentum, to keep the promises you made to yourself, even when no one is watching. It's the ability to live with integrity to your own standards rather than bending them to please the shifting tides of public opinion. You stop asking for permission to be who you are and start giving yourself the freedom to fully express the gifts you were created to deliver. It's about playing the long game, knowing that recognition often comes after ridicule, that reward often comes after rejection. It's about keeping your faith when no evidence yet exists to support it, about building when the ground feels shaky, about loving your mission enough to walk through loneliness without letting it harden your heart. It's about understanding that solitude is not a punishment, but a privilege, a sacred space where you meet yourself at the deepest level, where your conviction is tested and strengthened beyond measure. The courage to stand alone is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle, a mindset, a continual choice. It's the voice inside you that says, even if no one else understands, even if no one else believes, even if no one else comes with me, I will still go. It's the quiet but unbreakable power that allows you to carry your dreams across the desert of doubt until you reach the oasis of destiny. It's the kind of strength that cannot be given, bought, or borrowed. It must be forged in the crucible of experience through countless moments where you decide that your vision is worth more than your comfort, that your future is worth more than your fear. The world doesn't need more people who simply blend in, who play small, who live by default. The world is starving for leaders with a mind of steel and a heart of fire. Individuals who refuse to back down from their dreams, who choose resilience over reaction, who live by purpose and not by pressure. You are capable of becoming that leader. You are capable of mastering your inner world, fueling your journey with unshakable belief, and standing tall even when you stand alone. Your destiny isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for your decision, your commitment, your relentless action. Right now, every challenge you face, every doubt you silence, every step you take, you are forging the unstoppable force you were born to be. All right, so rise, step into your power, own your story, lead with fire, move with certainty, and remember, nothing and no one can stop a mind of steel and a heart of fire.